One personal question. How do you get from state to state with all these checkups? And do you believe in COVID shots?
Well, I took a COVID shot so that I could travel to Europe, and it was a tough personal decision, but I needed to go to visit, and there were some countries where there was no choice. But I don't believe in the COVID mandate for something that affects 1% of the population, and stay home if you're sick, and if you're old, and wear a mask or whatever. But I did take the J&J. I didn't take the mRNA because I think it's completely experimental and doesn't work. Pfizer just came out with a 80,000 page document that said only 12% got protection. So
And for 7 days.
yeah, for all this stuff we've been doing, 12% effective. And this is completely experimental. And the thing that really scares me is the long-term effects. We had polio vaccine in America. We had this Cutter Industries that put stuff into it, SV40, and then it turned out it caused cancer. It turned out it caused HIV. That's not a very good trade-off. I know it's 20 years later, but still not a good trade-off. So experimental vaccines don't make any sense to me at all. How could that not be worse than the cure, be worse than the original cause?
And how can you mandate them, right? That's even if you
An experimental vaccine? How can you mandate an experimental vaccine that you don't have any idea what's going to happen?
Yeah.
Just crazy. But hopefully that's over. Hopefully the 2 years is over.
I think they just got warmed up.
I think you might be right, but I think there will be, protests. There was protests in Ljubljana,
yeah.
and then there was protests in
also in Zagreb, Austria.
Huge protests in Zagreb. And, London had a huge protest. Australia had huge protests, and I think it's not going to happen anymore. I think people have been through it. Now they understand that they don't trust the government like they did. They don't trust the experts like they did. I know you're saying they're just getting started, and I believe you. And I believe you.
The legislation is, they are preparing the legislation that's completely swamped with documents that are coming from World Economic Forum. Every goddamn fucking document that you take and check from our country or Croatian country, or you check in Holland or in Germany, everywhere you have leads that are leads from words, etc. that is coming from Davos. So
Yeah.
there
Well,
is no end.
if you don't say the right words from the World Economic Forum, you don't get the loan from the World Bank, right? Or one of the banks. So you have to kind of play the game a little bit. But there is a problem.
There is no game in Ukraine. There is a real war.
Oh, I know.
It's happening to
Yeah.
reset the economy.
But the same thing
Yeah.
happened also in Ukraine, right? At the time of Yanukovych, right? They were deeply in debt, and the proposal European Union gave them was impossible for him to agree with. That's what started, as far as I understand the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think he also didn't want to go with the full bio agents, all the labs, and that the West didn't like that because they had already invested a lot in the labs, and Newland had, and Kagan, and they wanted to push their agenda, push the border closer. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'll do podcasts with you, and we'll track it. How's that?
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm all up for it.
Okay.